Is demolition and construction transphobic? Now, before we go any further, let me assure you that this is not going to be a discussion detailing the number of genders that there are out there. I'm not talking LG or BT or Q plus for that matter, and I'm not going to set foot in the minefield of pronouns either. So the thought police can put away their truncheons, the anti-woke brigade can pile onto someone else, and you'll just have to find another reason to cancel me. Because I want to talk about the transition process purely as it relates to the demolition and construction industry. The construction and demolition industries right now are in crisis, not because of external threats or shifting economic climates, although they certainly don't help, but because of a deep rooted reluctance to change. We're stuck in the past, clinging to outdated methods and stubbornly resisting progress. In this context, transphobic isn't referring to gender politics or societal issues. It's about the industry's refusal to transition to electric powered machinery, transition to more environmentally friendly deconstruction methods. And the question is why? Why are we so terrified of moving forward? Let's start with the construction industry, a sector where technological advancement is often seen as an existential threat rather than a necessity or a welcome opportunity to improve. Electric powered equipment, machines that can offer cleaner, quieter, and more efficient alternatives to their diesel powered counterparts, already available, and yet the industry thus far has resisted its widespread adoption. The reality is that the world is moving towards sustainability. From governments enacting stricter emissions regulations to clients demanding greener practices, the shift toward electrification is happening, whether we like it or not. But in the construction industry, electric machines are still viewed as impractical and unproven. It's as if we are pretending the inevitable won't arrive until it's too late. How much longer will we continue to drag our heels on this? Diesel engines have powered our machines for decades, but the world has changed. It's moved on. The environmental cost of burning fossil fuels is no longer conscionable. We see the impact every day, from the pollution that chokes our cities to the climate change we can no longer ignore. And yet here we are, continuing to embrace the very technology that is part of the problem. In a world that is rapidly transitioning to renewable energy, why is the construction industry so married to fossil fuels? The automotive industry has been moving to electric vehicles, tech giants are investing in clean energy, and governments are pushing for carbon neutrality. Why are we so scared to follow suit? The truth is that resistance to electric power is resistance to progress. And it's not just about the machines, it's about the way we approach work. The demolition industry similarly clings desperately to traditional methods, even though we know that some of those methods are potentially harmful to the planet. Demolition isn't just about tearing buildings down, it's about safeguarding the carbon baked into every structure. And it's about how we treat the debris left behind. Yet we stubbornly prioritize demolition over deconstruction. Deconstruction is a cleaner, greener method, but it's often seen as more costly, more labor intensive, and ultimately less efficient than simply demolishing. That mindset isn't just outdated, it's irresponsible. The future of construction and demolition is not about sticking to our guns and clinging to our traditions. It's about working smarter, not harder. And while electric machines make our work cleaner and more sustainable, deconstruction methods allow us to build a circular economy, one where resources are reused, not wasted. From an economic perspective, these green practices make sense. From an ethical perspective, they're imperative. The fact is, resistance to change is not only futile, it's reckless. The longer we cling to outdated technologies and methods, the greater the cost we will bear. The longer we refuse to transition, the harder the blow will be when we're forced to adapt under pressure from regulators, from clients, and from a world that no longer tolerates environmental degradation. This isn't just about saving the planet, it's about saving the future of our industry. We're on the brink of a massive transformation, and those who fail to adapt will be left behind. The construction and demolition industries risk being marginalised if they don't evolve with the times. The question is not whether we should transition, but how long we can choose not to. The world is changing. It's time for us to change with it. The resistance we see today is nothing more than fear of the unknown. But change is coming, and those who don't embrace it will find themselves on the wrong side of history. The transition to electric powered machinery and environmentally friendly deconstruction practices, not just a trend, it's the inevitable future. So, are you ready to make the change, or are you, in fact, transphobic?